guys, my name is Destruct, and today we are talking about No Man's Sky once more. My previous video involved 5 features I wanted to see in the game, and the video did pretty well with you guys. I think you guys enjoyed it, so I wanted to create another one to see if the trend continues. This time we are going to be going in depth on the subject of base building. Now, base building has been a concept that many people have wanted implemented into the game, but so far Hello Games have seen this idea as being against the core element, which is exploration. They have claimed that adding base building would make players want to settle on planets as opposed to moving on in their journey to the center of the galaxy. Now, although I would love to see base building in No Man's Sky, I don't think it's likely to be included in the full release of the game. However, I do have a theory about how Hello Games may implement this feature. Now, base building I think would best be added a while after the release of No Man's Sky, for the reason being that Sean Murray was asked a question in a recent, not really a recent interview, but yeah, an interview, and they asked what did he think would come after No Man's Sky, and he claimed that he wanted to talk to fans of the game, and he wanted to find out what they wanted and then nurture them. And he said that paid DLC will not be an option for No Man's Sky, and instead there will be free updates constantly. I think base building will be a feature which will come in once many players have reached the center of the galaxy, as once this feat is achieved, there is no underlying quest or objective to follow, and it's then up to the player to decide what they wish to do. Base building could be a feature available for players who have reached the center, so they could fly back out into the galaxy, find a planet to call home, and settle there. I feel like the way people will play the game will change drastically once players have reached the center, and this is where base building comes into play, as it allows players to set up shop somewhere and play the game differently. Now, actually going in depth into what base building could look like in No Man's Sky, I was thinking a similar model to Fallout 4, but I think without actually creating the houses yourself. Instead, there being several options for basic house designs. For example, you could have a small base, a large base, a small factory, a medium-sized trading post, etc. And then the game could procedurally generate these buildings, so each person's base will be completely different, and it would just continue the trend of procedural generation in No Man's Sky, and these buildings could be sort of placed in a specified location. I don't think handcrafted bases would work in No Man's Sky like how it works in Fallout 4, with you sort of like finding resources to put together like a shack. I think it would be better if it was sort of clear cut and just simple, like kind of how the rest of the game is. Also, the factories that we have seen in recent gameplay demos could tie in extremely well with base building, as players who enjoy trading could actually manufacture their own products in factories and take materials to nearby trading posts and space stations. I was thinking as well an idea for maybe players who aren't really traders, but they loved sort of their discoveries, and what they could do is have a base and have like a quite an expensive building with sort of a 3D rooms that they can basically display their discoveries, all the animals they discovered. They could basically display and sort of have like a hologram of them, and I just think that would be really cool, like a sort of a big building with these, like a huge hologram of these animals people have found. I think that would be a really cool feature. Now, Hello Games could definitely leave base building very open for players and leave it up to them to go exploring to find the perfect solar system with the perfect sort of planets, trade routes, animals, resources, alien races, etc. Ensure that players have the freedom to put their bases anywhere. I just think it would add a lot of extra sort of hours to the game if after you get to the center, you can spend a lot of time exploring to find the perfect place to settle, and I think that would be like a really cool feature in the game, because it won't take away our freedom to go exploring, but it means that we can always spawn back in the same place and sort of have our own base, and I just think it'd be a really cool idea, in my opinion. Now, for example, a clever player in the game could build their factory next to maybe a busy trading post on a planet, and that way they could easily sell their own goods. Things like this, which allow players to have freedom to basically put their base in a sort of strategic location, so they can either maybe catch the best wildlife or sell sell goods nearby. And I just think it would be really awesome to have this base building feature, because it just allows players to have a little more freedom in the game. Now, there's so many possibilities for this without having a complicated system, so I can't wait to see what happens as players can voice their opinions on what they want in future updates. So hopefully, if any of you are interested in No Man's Sky, you can talk to the devs online and Twitter and stuff like that, and voice your opinions on base building. I personally would love to see it, but we'll have to see what happens in the release of No Man's Sky. That's all I have for this one. I hope you enjoyed yet another No Man's Sky discussion, slightly shorter this time. Be sure to drop a like if you did enjoy, and let me know down in the comments if you have any topics you want me to cover in regards to No Man's Sky. That's all I have for this one. I will see you next time. Peace.